Hi, in this short video, I am going to demonstrate my understanding of adult learning principles and the use of interactivity to promote active learning. Ultimately, the overall design is based on a student-centered approach that is underpinned by adult learning principles and engagement theories. So I will just go ahead and start at the beginning with the Welcome to Week 1 block, where I have included a short introduction to the week and the learning outcomes for the week. One of the key aspects of adult learning is the need to understand what they are going to learn and why. And so by including the learning outcomes for the week here, this will provide them with a clear guide to the content they should know and understand by the end of the week. And it will also help them to identify any gaps in their learning. If we continue now to the learning resource block, I've included a short lecture by the educator here, which is about 8 to 10 minutes long, and 2 articles covering the key concepts for the week. My approach here to using just these 2 main resources is taking the larger concept and breaking them down into smaller learning moments, such as micro-learning, so that the students are getting the content that they need to meet their outcomes for the week. And essentially, adult learners really want to know that the time they are spending learning is going to provide the value they require to meet their goals, and it's also going to provide them with enough time to apply that learning. And so shorter content supports their desire really to just get what they need to solve whatever problems they have. And really, one of the biggest risks to this is really essentially content dumping, which really renders students as passive recipients of long lectures, long videos, and other passive content. And we know that evidence shows that students are engaged and learn best when they are assigned activities and encouraged to be really active participants in their learning experiences through intentional learning design such as this. So to also maximize engagement and keep the students actively involved, a focus on keeping the content short, light, and structured to ensure that I cover really only what is absolutely essential to meet their learning outcomes. And additionally, as seen here, I've also included some prompts here to encourage the students to begin to get even more actively involved and engage as they start to reflect on making meaning of the learning and the resources that they engage in with. So we move now to the next block, which is an opportunity for the students to check their knowledge. And I'm having the students complete this knowledge check, which will provide them opportunities to quickly embed and recall their learning, and also help them to identify areas where they might not be so, they haven't understood fully. And in this particular example, the students will test their understanding of the differences between terrorism and extremism by dragging each of the statements to the appropriate option. And what you'll see is that if it's incorrect, they will immediately get the feedback from that. And if it's correct, again, they would immediately get the feedback. And they could practice this several times until they understand the clear difference between the two terms. And this will be helpful for them as this is one of the key learning objectives that they should know for the week. So if we move now to the main assessment block, I've pretty much kept the assessment as the educator designed it, except I've asked the students to specifically create a short essay as their output, which will tie back to their overall formative assessment. And so by getting the practice using the content for this week, this will help them to also support and develop their skills needed to successfully write their research essays in week 6. The first part of the assessment, they will be working independently, as evidence shows that adult learners who actually prefer more independent, self-directed type work. But I've also added an opportunity for collaborative learning by having them engage not just with the content but also with each other and with the educator, as they get to share the experience and get feedback from each other and from the educator. And if we move to the final block, which is I've included a reflection block to the end, and this is the final part to wrap up the week's learning. And I've just included some more opportunities and resources to help the learners extend their time on task and maximize engagement by, again, some content around the main learning objective that they can go back and dive a bit deeper if they prefer to do that. And also encouraging them that if they would like to share any other additional thoughts, they can do so in the community space. And that's about it. Thank you so much.